Hi guys, this is Hero, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how intuition is the most crucial factor for analyzing astrology or doing any spiritual practice, okay? So, you'll notice there's so many astrology systems, okay? I just made a video yesterday on Western versus Vedic, but there's so many more, okay? There's Chinese, Mayan, Burmese, etc. The list goes on. There's so many. And even within those major ones, there's certain sects, right? Like for example, in like the Vedic astrology system, there's like Gemini, there's all these different dasha systems and all this, right? So you could if you're thinking about this from a pure rational standpoint, you could get overwhelmed, right? Thinking like, oh, you're not gonna know all of them, and you're never gonna know everything, and you could be wrong about what you think related to this and all this kind of stuff. Well, the truth is that any system can work at any time, okay? But there's a key ingredient of why certain systems work. All systems can fail and all systems can work at any time, okay? But there's a reason why sometimes it fails and sometimes it works. And the reason why, beyond general principle, is the factor of intuition, okay? Which most people don't like to talk about because it is something that a lot of people don't have, and that it's not like concrete, okay? You can't prove it, okay? So what do you do? So you'll notice anybody can say no system is perfect, right? It's because there's no like yoga, or there's no certain exact placement that works 100% of the time, okay? There's no like, oh, this conjunction is always going to equal this, or when this happens in D1 and D9, it's always going to equal this, okay? It's just not going to happen 100% of the time, okay? The only way you can tell how seriously to take a certain aspect in a chart, or how much to overlook something, is the concept of intuition, okay? Intuition, it's where you go beyond the mental, you go into the spiritual, and you let the supreme being or the higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, speak to you and let you and guide you on what specific key factors to look at in a certain chart placement, or like overall horoscope with all the different divisional charts on there as well, okay? So you'll notice now, let's just say you're not that intuitive right now, right? That's fine. You can build on that, and I have so many videos on how to kind of build your intuition. But at a general point, the more kind of you just go within, connect with your spiritual side of you, and it's kind of like connecting to the internet, okay? The intuition, it's kind of just like spiritual internet, okay? When you go on the internet, you look up whatever you want. You don't have to know it, but you can look it up and you'll find everything out. It's the same thing. Intuition, it's kind of like you're being able to connect to the spiritual internet, okay? So raise your consciousness and vibration and all that kind of stuff. And then what happens is, you'll notice when you look at charts, there'll be like a little voice in the back of your head kind of that'll tell you, okay, to kind of look at certain things or overlook certain things, and stuff like that. Most likely will not tell you to overlook something, okay? Why? Because every single key aspect of astrology in a chart is crucial, okay? Every single thing adds its own flavor, okay? But it'll tell you kind of where to start off, like where to get the ground rolling. Like, I'm at the point now where kind of at a certain point, my intuition just kind of just takes over, okay? And it just, when I'm looking at something, like I'll start off kind of, with the basic fundamental, and at some point my intuition just takes over, and it just doesn't stop. It'll just tell me everything I need to know, okay? And this is just for the Vedic system, okay? You can use this for all kind of sects of the Vedic system, okay? It's not just like, for example, like Vimshotri or something like that. Like I know there's multiple dasha systems, okay? You can use your intuition for any one of these, okay, and it will help. Same thing with any system, like beyond the Vedic system, okay? If you're doing like Burmese or Chinese or Mayan or Western astrology, you can like just use your intuition, okay? And you will notice that your predictions will kind of be more right, or like things that you kind of think on the chart will be more right, but you sometimes won't understand how you got to that point or why. And that's because intuition, it's very hard to grasp from a mental standpoint, okay? And just as a closing note, intuition, it's not just something for astrology, okay? You can use this for meditation, yoga, for example. In yoga, like, yeah, there's certain guidelines and rules and stuff like that, but at a certain point, if you really want to become an expert, you have to use your intuition to kind of see what to do. Okay, same thing with meditation. There's certain rules and guidelines, like for example, like, you know, accept all your fears and thoughts your mind tries to throw at you rather than fighting them. That's probably the biggest one that most people don't do. But at a certain point, you're gonna have to use your intuition to kind of guide you beyond what you've been taught if you really want to advance to those super high spiritual levels. Okay, so just as another closing note, as far as astrology goes, don't be afraid to start using your intuition when studying a chart. That doesn't just mean at the beginning just blindly make drastic claims just because you're feeling a certain conclusion just a tiny bit. Okay, it's not an overnight thing. Even if you do have the intuition, applying it to astrology also takes time. So it takes time to develop the intuition, and then it takes time to apply that intuition to astrology. Okay, so both of them is going to be a process. So just use your inner wisdom to kind of help guide you on how much you should use your intuition. And like I said, you kind of want to apply it more and more slowly and kind of get used to using it. Okay, all change in nature is gradual. So if you're using more of the fundamentals right now, which you kind of should at the beginning, slowly apply your intuition, and over time you'll notice you'll know how to apply it a lot better, and you'll see the what's the right word? You'll see the usefulness of intuition when it comes to looking at any astrology chart. Okay, and you'll realize how much more beyond the fundamentals and the basics, or you know, kind of like the calculations, you know, astrology has. Okay, there's a certain like an energetic fire to each astrology chart, okay, that cannot be kind of measured quantitatively through certain calculations. Okay, this is just something that if if you kind of have spiritual awareness, that you will know of. Okay, and astrology is a spiritual science. Okay, so it speaks to those who are the most spiritual in themselves, regardless of which system you use. Okay, I know people have kind of made it into this material thing where, you know, this plus this always equals this, and it's kind of like a very calculative thing. But at the end of the day, if you truly want it to work to the highest potential, spiritually or materially, but ideally spiritually, I'd strongly recommend you start developing your intuition and slowly start applying that intuition to analyzing your astrology charts. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And as usual, thank you guys for watching the video. Talk to you guys next time. Thank you.